For this technique, a lot often thumb over the top.
So, yeah, it's getting
Can be tricky for some people.
It feels strange at first, and I remember when I started doing it, but it's literally just forcing yourself for, you know, a couple of weeks. And eventually, I mean, to the point now where when I do a bar, the only time I do that is I'm teaching people.
Yeah. The rest of the time we're like this. Because you then need to get to, like, there's position one.
Yeah.
There's our next one. Doing the bar, you can do it that way, but if you want to do any licks at all, we kind of need that thumb over the top. To bend a string, we need the thumb over the top.
Yeah.
So if we're like this, it's a long way to go from there.
Yeah,
so that's a good thing to get used to. And then with the first finger, you're muting.
Yeah, so I was actually doing my second, personally, obviously what feels comfortable. So my first finger's kind of there as well, I suppose, acting like a little mute.
Acting a little mute.
But I suppose really a lot of it is from, it's talking about guitar, so it's not swearing. But it's that kind of pad of the finger there, isn't it?
It's the underside of, in this case, the middle finger there is muting the second string. And with some of them as well, it can be like the tip of the finger as well. Just so you're super, like here, the middle finger's muting the G there, but the thumb could be over the top. So even if I haven't got another finger there which could do some muting as well, 1, 2, ringing out, the rest, all muted.
Yeah.
You need that on command to be able to step between those.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like just Emma
Exactly,
there, you're going to get some open strings ringing out. That is fundamental to being able to do Steve Cropper, Hendrix, John Frusciante.
Well, yeah,
style
once you
licks
get that
right.
down, the world really opens up because, as you mentioned, Frusciante, that kind of funk rock kind of stuff, you know, if you can get used
the
to...
The whole point of it is like
that.
an open string when you want, but then just, I mean, even...
I was just about to say, yeah.
I mean, I'm playing this really stupid, really, because I'm like hitting
Yeah, but what's to say, if you watch him live...
all 6 strings every time.
Yeah, you watch him live, he is up there, big, you know.
Give it a bit of boost. Like, that's the sound, because otherwise...
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the riff, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
And in a way, it's harder to do that, but once you've got that muting on command, again, the world opens.
One little tip, actually, if people do, I know people struggle with this muting thing, but if you think of it like that, if you take, say, a power chord, you know, here we're playing the 6th, 5th and 4th strings, and those top 3 are muted.
Relaxing the first finger on the string?
Yeah, so if I take that, my 3rd and little fingers off and just got my 1st, still doing the exact same idea if I had them on. If I take them off and just wanted that 6th string, that all muted out. So
yeah. So then you get that tone, like that's like a Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
riff,
exactly.
Isn't it?
You know,
it's
so
rock
if
riff
I
that
was,
you need.
That's just on the 6th string there. So if I take the same idea, obviously now I just try not to hit the 5th and 6th strings, but I'm just. Still the same technique,
Absolutely.
really. You know what I mean? I'm just. But obviously, if I hit them, it's going to be there. So you could put your thumb over for, you know, extra help if you want. But I'm aiming just like when you play a D chord. We're not going
low. You're aiming low. You're aiming
exactly. So it's the
away
same
from
idea.
string 6.
But I know people struggle, but it's just persevering, just like with the thumb. It's persevering and no, every part of your body, but like, stop it, just go back to the bar. Like,
Can be.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when I first started playing, and I used to hold the pick like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and my teacher was like, well,
otherwise you drop it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? You ever try this, you drop it, so you default to
and
doing
I was
that.
young, so, you know.
But whenever you take lessons, it's like that side of the first finger. And
Yeah.
you think, I'll never strum a chord like that.
Yeah.
But it can open up to you.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one other thing like that?
Yeah.
I only got this strat about 4 years ago, or maybe even 3 years ago. it has a very high radius.
Oh yeah, kind of
very
curved,
curved fretboard. My Les Paul or every other guitar I've typically had is pretty Les Paul type, flat as a pancake, right? Yeah. All this first finger doing these little bars, and even down to like the 5th string bars like this, so much harder with a flatter fretboard. Whereas this technique, it just sings on Strat style guitars because with a little bit more radius and just the jangly thing.
Yeah. Well, when you did that Frusciante, that Chili Pepper song, straight away like that's the Strat tone. That's why people love it, and you can like, well, there's the.
So
Hendrix,
I like this one. I really looked on. It's just classic Strat. If you need a Strat, this does.
There's that Strat tone where straight away you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I want to play guitar, for that tone.
It's sweet, man. And
Strat neck pickup. Boom.
And they all do it, you know, they don't have to be a lot of money. You've got a clean amplifier, like it's all available to you, right? You're not needing a plexi tone where it needs to be cranked to sound a certain way. It is there at your fingertips, but you need the mutant technique.
Yeah, but also, where we started with this, it's great that we're on to Frusciante, but we started with Steve Cropper. Yeah. And you can see where it kind of, where the train went. So to speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
we're going to be
very similar.
We're going to be looking at Stevie Ray Vaughan in a minute. It's a very similar thing, just kind of turned a certain way, done through a certain place.
It's the thing with influence as well. Like if you listen to Jimmy Page, and Jimmy Page is Jimmy Page, but very sloppy player really. But then you hear someone like Joe Perry, who is very influenced by Jimmy Page, but just got a bit more tidier. And then Slash was influenced from Joe Perry, who just took that tidiness and made it even more, he's much more of a technical player. But you can see the evolution of the playing, so to speak, Jimmy Page would have got it from all the blues guys, He was, and rockabilly guys like Jeff Beck, they're influenced from that. So it's saying with Steve Cropper there, where it's taken all that, and then Hendrix would have heard that, I would have thought, and well, if I put a bit of psychedelia in there, and might have been smoking jazz cigarettes, and he took that and then kind of made it his, and then Stevie Ray Vaughan took what Hendrix did, because I remember I heard Voodoo Child, Stevie's version, before the Hendrix. It's so much more, and you hear the Hendrix one at first, and like, it's not quite
it's kind of.
But then you learn to appreciate it, obviously, So, it's good to see. Learn from your heroes, and who did your heroes learn from?
Yes.
You know what I mean, and kind of go, and who did they learn it from, and
Steve Cropper's one of those guys, just because he was one of the first to. It's that. What am I thinking of? The Stax.
The Stax sound. To me, that's what R&B. Rhythm and blues. Now you think R&B of Rihanna or something like that.
Well, it is a really modern thing, right? This style is all really current. Yeah, and the 6th thing, especially if you hear any guitar riffs today that actually get into the charts.
Well, like the neo soul stuff. It's all this. Really. When I first heard the term neo soul, and you got me, we're going off a bit, but.
It's still R&B,
exactly. It's just
R&B.
but with a load of reverb. Basically,
But with modern production, of course, because
you
got a different drum beat behind it and stuff.
But it's still that same technique really going on.